I made my own prosperity bracelet. It's got these praying hands, tiger's eye, citrine, and green aventurine with the words prosperity on it. It's been bringing me a lot of prosperity. Go on and put on that dress that all the bad boys like. I know your daddy ain't home, so ride with me tonight. You always wind up here in a puddle of tears. Them boys around and they're angry and they're looking for blood. In the wall back pickup truck. You got nowhere to go, although you all gussied up. All I've been listening to since I've been down south is Zach Bryan. And I found out, like, I wanted to check out the other day, like, do we got a concert or something? Like, since I'm down there? Turns out he done touring for this year. And he went on and searched. He went back to school to get a master's degree. And I thought that was pretty cool and interesting. I imagine that it's not for him to change careers, but for him to gain knowledge. I've been journaling so long, like, when I was down here, I met some good buddies, good friends of mine down here panhandling with. We put in some money to get a room. And one of the ladies there, a friend of mine, her name was Martha. They all call her Mama. She like the big mama. Mama Bear the group, grandmama. She had an old Polaroid. She took that photo for me. I've been finding these everywhere I go, every state. What's interesting is one of them I found wasn't dead. Somebody had just stepped on it and had to perform like a coup de grace. And you know how they say death is the only mercy in war? A coup de grace is a mercy kill. I think the term comes from French, coup de grace. But it's a mercy kill. It's to put an animal or a person out of their suffering. Because the butterfly was torn and it was dying. And it was just laying there dying. It's almost a Scorpio new moon. It'll be here in just a few days. And on the 23rd, the Scorpio moon, the moon will be in Scorpio, and the sun will be in Scorpio. And it's a Scorpio new moon tonight. And Scorpios deal with death and rebirth, not just the reproductive organs and sex. And everybody has this bad thing about death. People try to stay away from it. Try not to think about it. Get sad about it. But death is one of those things that it's a brief phase. There's always a death. There's a death to the old you. There's a death to your identity. There's a death to a relationship, feelings. Death is just an ending. And it's a brief phase. But it could be a long, drawn out process, and there's things worse than death. Death is a brief phase into life. And the Scorpio is represented by Judas. And when Jesus was in the garden, he asked God, do I have to, is there another way? Take this cup from me. And God told him that this is the way that Judas was supposed to do that. And he knew Judas would betray him. Judas represented the Scorpio, which leaded him to the cross. He represented the sun, which is the ego. This is a death and a rebirth. He was resurrected after his death. Death is just a brief phase. There are many, many deaths we experience. And so, even the trees, if they start to turn orange, brown, red, yellow, and brown, and fall off. This cycle happens all through life. Death and rebirth. In the winter, you see death. In the spring, you see the rebirth of the earth. So, I've been learning about cycles. So, and here it shows the EKG. And I got the EKG tatted. This is my first tattoo. It looked like it's pretty much faded now. And it says live on it. But the EKG, this is what it looks like in the 2-dimensional, in the 3-dimensional, and the 4-dimensional. And it looks like beat, 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 like your heart rate. But 3-dimensional is spirals. And just like the stars spiral, the sun, the moon spiral, they cycle. So does your heart. And repetition is a cycle. This is how they track vibrations. And everything is energy, and energy is read by vibrations. And it's translated into numbers, letters, colors, so many different things. Because everything is energy. And everything is about the cycles. Just like there's 13 moons in a year, 28 days for each moon or month, that only leaves 364 days in a year. The 365, the last day, is the null day. And this day is the day of death, where the sun stops. It stops moving. And then it's reborn to move 1 degree each day, heading till spring. And this day happens on the 21st or the 22nd, depending on where you're at. And this is the winter solstice, the beginning of winter, the death. And so, with these cycles, the only way to stop them is to pivot. And I wrote a cycle, or a curse, or cursive. Cursive looks like the EKG. And this is why they taught us cursive. If you write in cursive, it looks just like the EKG. And you don't stop until you finish a cycle. And you can tell by the way you write, it's translated in the way you feel. Like if someone's writing angry, you can tell. If somebody's writing happy, you could tell, or quick or slow. And so, a curse is a cycle or a pattern. And when you change that cycle, pattern, you have a revolution. And a revolution is a cycle, but it's a new cycle. And so I wrote, choose your frequency, break the pattern, cycle, or curse. The path is not linear. The change starts from within. Everything and everyone else is just a reflection of your internal being. As you move closer to the light, so does your shadow increase, duality and balance. And so I put enter the dragon.